Yay! Hi guys! I'm just outside of La Grande, Oregon. Um, yeah. Feedback has been awesome. And what I make it mean, and do I want to change what I make it mean? So, yeah, this has been a great week for remembering last week's practice. I feel like I just want to remind you guys there's a reason they call these practices. And we're all in this together. And there's no shame in practicing, right? I love to use, speaking of Fox Sports, I love to use Tom Brady as an example because he had like, I don't know, 1,000 Super Bowl wins, whatever, like seriously, like 7 or 9 or whatever. But even after that, he still continued to practice for every game. He still continued to look at film for his opponents. He still continued to listen to his coaches. He still continued to desire for more and to get better and to practice. So I just want to remind you guys that there is zero shame in practicing, and there is so much celebration in going, man, that's so cool that I can recognize that I'm weak there so that I know the direction to practice. So I just want to really encourage you guys that no matter what's going on in this 5 minutes of your life, you're exactly where you're supposed to be, and the practice is why you game. Isn't that so cool? Because guys, if all of the accolades and all of the things are just part of the experience, then the practice, which is what we do most of, right? I mean, like, think about the comparison of the time that Tom Brady practiced compared to the time that he won a Super Bowl, right? I mean, I don't know how long he played his whole life, but he practiced for a really long time for 9. That's so funny, for 9, guys, for 9, like, mountaintops, right? And so recognizing if we're not having fun in the practice, our mountaintops are actually going to start to feel like a disappointment, because on the other side of every mountaintop is more practice, right? So if it's all just the experience and we can have just as much like fullness in the practicing as we do the mountaintop, we win every single day, as opposed to waiting to win, right? And what if the excitement of this interview for Jamie is just as exciting as if they say yes, right? I mean, wouldn't that change the way that we actually navigate life, knowing the universe has our back? And if for some reason that they're stupid and don't hire her, then that means that her time and her space and her energy and her efforts are actually designed for something different, more aligned with who she is, if we really believe that the universe has our back. So I love that you threw that intention out ahead of time so we could use that as just an awareness of how we are taught and trained and programmed to function and what's available in how we function. Because guys, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Let me get out my glasses. Hold, please. Oh, shit, really? Oh, yeah. Okay, here they are. I might have to roll down my window. Hopefully it doesn't get loud. Hold on. Because it's getting hot in this car. Woo! Woo! Now everything's beeping and buzzing and shh. And now for some reason, my freaking music decides to play. Oh, guys. Oh, guys. We're going to get this. Okay, now it's not playing. Okay. Now you're gone. Hold on. Now you're back. Okay. Matthew 19:26. With man, this is impossible. Anything is impossible, but with God, all things are possible. Mark 10:27. With man, it is impossible, but with God, for all things are possible with God. Luke 1:37. For nothing will be impossible with God. Bridget, let me know if you didn't get all those, because I just threw all those and when you got them all. Okay, because I know I zipped through those. Because I want you guys to hear, you are 100% human and 100% spirit. You look like this. You are 100% human, 100% spirit. You are 100% human, 100% spirit. You're always functioning in 100% human and 100% spirit. But our consciousness, as it develops and desires to know what we know, needs separation in order to integrate. Right now, there's an enmeshment. There's a term, quantum entanglement. And people would talk about how energy is quantum entanglement. And I'm like, why doesn't that resonate well with me? Why do I not like the term quantum entanglement? Because guys, when something's entangled, you don't know what's what. You don't know, like you can't wear an entangled necklace because it's all bound up. So yes, that is how energy is functioning. Everything is connected and intertwined. But the beauty of EMPHORY, and we talk about this, is we separate to integrate. We're already enmeshed, entangled. The two parts are already there. But our desire at EMPHORY is to separate the two things so that we can integrate. And it is the evolution of unconscious incompetence to unconscious competence. Both are programs, but one is how we've been programmed by the world, and one is how we've been programmed by God. Yeah? So when we think about where we started with man, it's impossible. Because if I don't have the awareness of what God is doing in me, then I'm utilizing my physical power, right? If Jamie decides, hey, I don't need God, I'm gonna study really hard about Fox Sports. I'm gonna get my groove on to get all hyped and she might still get the job, you guys, but it will be exhausting and it will be effortful, and she will have to try to get it right every time, and she will have to try to perform every time. But if she says, you know what, getting this job is impossible. It's impossible in my human. It's impossible in my human. But with God, anything is possible. And now we can rely on God's timing. We can rely on God's design. We can rely on what we came to the planet to do. And that way, when they say yes to Jamie, now she just shows up as an expression of life instead of trying to perform and get it right all the time for every time she shows up for her job. Do you guys get the beauty of separating what is our human and what is our spirit and what is God? What is that infinite intelligence inside of us that then says, you know what, with God, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So if I get this job, it's going to be so amazing and so fun and so life-giving because I'm utilizing my human to let life work through me and as me. Yeah? So when we're just working in our own strength, shit's impossible. Even if it happens, it's impossible to enjoy it. It's impossible to live free in it. But in God, anything is possible, which is this place of life and freedom and joy. Okay? Matthew 17:20. If you have faith like, oh wait, I decided not to use that one. Mark, don't write that one down, Bridget. Well, if you guys want to, it's the faith of a mustard seed one, but I decided I wasn't going to use that after, because guys, I've been driving for like 2.5 hours meditating, going, ooh, what do I get to talk about? And I'm like, ooh, that one doesn't feel in alignment anymore. Okay, so Mark 9:23. All things are possible for one who believes. Yeah. Do you believe that the universe is conspiring in your favor? Right? I love that Nicole and Jamie are like, yeah, I believe that more than ever. And guess what? The more you believe it, the more you'll see that it's showing up around you. Because what you believe is reflected in the feedback that shows up around you. Yes? Now, let me give a little small caveat to this. If you're like, yes, I believe the universe is conspiring in my favor, and shit keeps showing up and you're like, man, that's not in my favor. That, like, if I believe this, why isn't that showing up? Good indicator, you don't actually believe it yet, or you're misaligned with the value of what's showing up, thinking that what you think is in your favor is different than what God says is in your favor. Right? Do you guys get that? So the shitty things that happen, right? Dee, can I speak freely for a quick second? So Dee was talking to us this morning in group about how she's had a really, really rough 6 weeks with some things that came up with her selling her house. Yet, through all of it, she kept coming back to, I'm already in right standings. The universe is functioning in my favor. God loves me. I'm his child. I'm blessed. She kept reminding herself of that. And now she's on the other side of it. And she's like, man, I freaking love who I became through that 6 weeks. Right? So if we cognitively decide, yes, God is working in my favor, the universe is conspiring for my favor, now the things that start to show up, we get to align with that and go, how is this in my favor? Right? How is this a good thing in my life? Because the more we believe, the more what we want to believe shows up. Right? And we know, I don't know, Benjamin Franklin, Napoleon Hill, Ford, all, like, we hear it all the time. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Why? Because I'm always in right standing. And God's not judging what's good and what's bad. He just says, you want to believe it? Dope. Go ahead. And then you get the feedback. Right? So recognizing anything is possible, right? When we're aligned, when we're functioning in the full integration of us. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Now, depending on your bent, right? Depending on your bent, Christ, we like to talk about Christ consciousness, recognizing that what is said Christ in us, right? That is the strength that we utilize. It is the awareness, the right standing that I'm already anointed. Because if you look up the origin of the word Christ, it's the anointed one. Do you know you're in right standing? Again, you guys, that's a practice. You don't know. I promise you. Oh, my device is overheating. I promise you, you guys don't know that you're in right standing. But do you know that you're in right standing enough to be in right standing in this moment? And there will always be more knowing of your right standing in the next moment. Yes? So again, knowing my right standing, embodying my right standing is a practice. embodying, knowing that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Christ what? The embodiment, the knowing that I am in right standings, that I am already anointed to do the things that I came to the planet to do in, through, and as Christ, the anointed one. Yeah? What did you come to the planet to do as love? All things are possible.
Did Lori freeze? Did you think she froze?
I think she over
She's frozen. I'm wondering if it's heated. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
She
I
overheated
thought
and
she was just pausing, looking for something. I was like, "Where are you coming back? Like, what are you doing?" Decline is now the host, which which means she will be back very shortly, I am sure. Um, yeah, I love this conversation. I love thinking of all the possibilities. Um, we'll give her just a minute or so if she doesn't pop right back on, if there is any issues, but I don't know how long overheating takes to cool down. It kind of depends on how overheated it is, right? Right. Okay. Um, if she doesn't come right back, then we can jump ahead. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, go ahead and grab that. And then if we need to jump ahead into this little activity that I was going to have us do, um, and she gets back in, we can pause the activity and come back to this. And if you're driving, obviously you don't get to participate quite yet. But now Lori's back. Okay, you're muted, but we see you.
Hi guys, I'm back.
Yay!
Okay, I have to leave my air conditioner running in case I have to put my phone in front of it. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay. All right. Jeremiah 32:17. Lord God, remember law. Law. We think about this from the perspective of the law. It is you who have made heaven and earth by your great power and by your outreached arm. Nothing is too hard for you. So, guys, when we think about the law of God, it says, right, that I am made in the image of the Creator. I create heaven and earth. I make manifest my thoughts. If I think that I'm a douchebag, I'll act like a douchebag. If I think I'm a victim, I'll get treated like a victim. If I think that anything is possible, I will start to manifest that anything is possible. Yeah? Okay, Job 42:2. And this is where Job is talking to God, and he says, I know you can do all things, and no purpose of yours can be thwarted. If you're not familiar with the story of Job, Job was like the richest dude in all of the lands, had all these kids, had all these cattle, all this money, all this space, all this stuff. And as the story goes, Satan shows up to God. And he says, what have you been doing? God says, what have you been doing? And Satan says, oh, I've just been roaming the earth, looking at your servants. He's like, yeah? Have you checked out Job? That dude's so cool. He's like, he's only cool because you have a hedge of protection around him. And he says, whatever. And he goes, take away all his shit and he'll curse you. He's like, dude, bet. Go try it. Do it. So there's this series of events, and Satan keeps coming back and keeps coming back, and God says, take this, but don't do that. Take this, but don't do that. Take this, but don't do that. And finally, everything gets taken away. All of his kids get killed. All of his livestock gets killed. All of his servants are killed. All of his land is destroyed. He ends up with boils all over his body. His friends and his wife are like, curse God and die. And he's using like broken pottery to scratch the boils on his skin. And he goes, okay, God, I get it. I don't actually know you. I don't actually know you the way that I thought I knew you. So here, all this time, Satan's like, I'm going to go get your guy so he can curse you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, go ahead. Because at the end of all of his suffering, guess what he'll come to? More God to know. More grace to understand. More intimacy to experience. And that's exactly what happened. And then God restored tenfold what was taken from Job. Right? So I love, if you've been around me for more than 5 minutes, you've probably heard me quote, like, you can't thwart the plans of God. There is nothing you can do. It doesn't matter how powerful you are. You can never be so shitty, feel unloved, gross, cunty, narky. You can never do enough to thwart the plans of God. Never. So guess what? Rest. Rest. Because you can never escape the loving arms of a good dad. So rest. No matter how bad you think you are, you will never be bad enough to thwart the good plans that God has for you. So don't worry. Don't worry. Anything is possible, and you can't thwart the plans of God. Okay. Okay. Now, all the things that show us anything is possible. Anything is possible to those that love God, to those that are called according to his good pleasure. That's a verse somewhere. I don't know why that just popped up and it didn't come to me before, but there you go. Okay, now, are you ready? I had a conversation one time with somebody, and he's like, well, I don't believe you because I don't think anything is possible. I said, cool. Give me an example of what's not possible. And he goes, well, I'll never dribble a ball down an NBA court and slam dunk in the NBA game. I go, oh, well, has anybody ever done that? He's like, well, yeah. I go, so it's possible. Okay? Now, I want you to think about the fact that when Paul asked God to remove his suffering, like, it never talks about what it really is, but the Bible says Paul had an affliction, right? And there's lots of biblical scholars that say, well, it was an eye infection. Well, it was this kind of thing. Well, it was a skin thing. It was like all these things, right? The Bible never specifically says what Paul's affliction was. And 3 times he said, God, please heal me from this affliction. And God says, my grace is sufficient. Moses took the Israelites through fucking parting of the sea, through destroying the Egyptians, through 40 years in the desert, and he never got to enter into the promised land. Job went through a lot of shit. He would have much preferred that God had done something earlier before he was scratching his own body with broken pottery. Are you guys hearing me? Yes, anything is possible. And what did you come to the planet to experience? I, personally, as much as I believe that anything is possible, I didn't come to the planet to manifest a wiener for myself. Just saying. Do I believe that if somebody came to the planet with a vagina and decided to manifest a wiener that it would happen? Yes, I believe that. I didn't come to the planet for that. So it doesn't matter how hard I try to believe that I can pop a wiener. I'm not going to do it because that's not what I came to the planet for. Yes? So now it's not about going out and figuring out what you can prove that you can manifest because you are an infinite being that can manifest anything it wants. It's more about surrendering to the design that you came to the planet to experience, because I guarantee you, if you manifested $1 billion business, but you weren't in alignment with it, it would not bring you the joy that you think $1 billion business will bring you. Yes, anything is possible. And our practice is anything is possible because we're born into Adam, you guys. We're born into lack. We're born into limitation. We're born into finiteness. And now we want to see who we are as a spiritual being, not so that we can bypass our human, but so we can integrate into our human and be the fullness of us, 100% human, 100% spirit, and say anything is possible. I don't know what's possible. Jamie, before you got that call that you had an interview for Fox Sports, were you like, yeah, I'm expecting this? No. Maybe you wanted it, maybe it was a thought, maybe it was whatever, but then when it showed up, you're like, holy shit, this is possible. Right? This idea that anything is possible actually breeds amazing endorphins. It breeds hormones inside of us. Right? It interacts with our physical. I can't remember if I talked about this in another Bible study or not. But there was a study done where they looked at the brain of little kids to find hormones that were being produced in the brain. And they found out that they had more happy hormones the day before Christmas than they did the day after Christmas. Because guys, we're designed to create. We're designed to not know. We're designed for surprise and delight and wonder. And then as soon as we get it, as soon as we get to the mountain, if we don't remember that we didn't come here to reach the top of the mountain, we came here to create the experience that reaches the top of the mountain. Right? So this idea that anything is possible is, I don't know. I don't remember what I decided I wanted to do, be, or have when I came to this planet. So I believe anything is possible, and then I surrender and ask God, yeah, cool, what's possible for me? What did I come to the planet for? What does alignment look like and feel like in my lifetime? Yeah? Because it's not going to be the same for any of us. I've been doing some remodeling, not because I wanted to, but because I had a flood. Dee fucking does this shit because she gets off on it. I'm like, this is excruciating. I can't wait till it's over. Right? We're created different. Right? There are things that I love that you guys will be like, this bitch, that is so lame. And there's things that you're going to do that I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so your genius, because there's no way that I would ever find joy in that. Guys, that's the beauty of the differences in us. And we need each other. And that joy of seeing Dee come up with these ideas fuels my soul. I don't want to come up with the ideas. I want to watch Dee light up when she comes up with these ideas. Yeah? Yeah? So the balance is, yes, we want to get in the energy of anything is possible. And We want to remember what's possible for me in this incarnation on this planet. I don't want someone else's possible. I want my possible. And when I believe anything is possible, now I can be surprised and delighted when really cool shit shows up. Yeah? So good. I love this one, guys, because it expands our neuro pathways. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. And now I can celebrate what's possible for somebody else and surrender to what did I come to the planet to make possible. Yeah. I know I didn't start and stop the recording, but I can definitely like stop it now and then just cut off the first part. Stop recording.